What it is, what is up, what is good, gamers? This is Shonuff71, aka Diggadolamite.
That purple bling bling, y'all.
And your auditory canals are tuned in to episode 259 of the Gaming Vessels podcast. Now, as usual, I'm not in the digital studio alone. Along with me, got my partners in crime. First on deck, we got Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res Hater.
That's me.
A.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. that gamer stepdaddy. What's going on, man?
Hey, not much. Just, it's funny. You call me the High Res Hater, but there might not be enough High Res stuff to hate anymore, you know? Because we're gonna talk about the Nintendo 2 or the Switch 2 coming out, and that's supposed to be, high res ish. So I don't know, I might just have to forever be known as the high res lover. So, but we'll see. We will definitely see. Yeah,
I'm not convinced.
Okay. Although it's funny though.
If you buy a better TV, I might be convinced.
You know what, sir? You need to hush about that. You're gonna buy me a better TV. If you buy me a better TV, then I will definitely be.
You got a job. Go do your thing.
Yeah,
high res level.
You're the one that's worried about my gaming.
I'm worried about your gaming.
No. I get it. You want to be Santa Joe. Okay, that's fine, Santa Joe. You can take care of this less fortunate and get me an OLED. I'll let you. Thank you, Santa Joe.
Santa
Joe. Thank you.
Ho ho ho.
You can have Jack could be your reindeer. You can just haul it on down here to me.
Ho ho ho.
Oh wow. That's pretty good. Of course, our show is a no-go without Trader Joe, aka Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also Santo Joe.
But you might also
ho.
Might also know him as the Food Max of gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. What's going on?
Not much, man. Just we're leaving in 3 days for Tokyo, so it's like I'm getting ready. I'm mentally getting ready. It's like I'm trying to think, okay, I was at the mall today and I just stopped at the GameStop and I was thinking, maybe I should pick up a Steam card and download some games, like I'm just going to play one game on the damn plane anyway, but but just thinking about just everything about making the trip to Tokyo and just getting excited with all this game announcements. So listeners, if you do want to track our travels, I did create a TGS channel in the Discord, so we'll post pictures there when we have time to do so, but we'll try to do what we could do while we're over there in the motherland of Japan on that, so should be a good time. Okay. I'm gonna lobby Saran for you to come with us, I looked for round trip tickets for Japan just like last week, and I saw at the same dates that we're going. There was a $500 ticket, so.
Yeesh.
I know. Round trip, good times, but yeah, I was looking forward to it. So.
Cool. So that's going to lead us into what is always our first topic on our docket. That's going to be our Summer Backlog Blowout update and playlist. All right, so let's kick things off with Jabroni. What you been playing, and what is the status of your backlog update?
Right now, I'm just playing Secret of Mana. That's all I've been playing for those last few weeks, and God forbid, it's like I haven't made more progress, but I'm past the fire temple, and I am desperately thinking, because basically the first day of fall is tomorrow, so I don't know whether in the rules it'd be like 12 o'clock midnight, or whether when the sun comes up, I have to like lean over the rules maker, the high res hater rules maker to see what your overall opinion is. So.
Well, it was always my intention. You know, I mean, we could use the first day of the first day of spring. The first day of fall is fine. You know, you can play on that last day, but once midnight hits, Sunday evening, midnight.
Oh wow, you're giving a day? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah,
shit.
We could do it. It's fine.
All right, high five. How that's pretty much all I've been up to and playing. I've been trying to deal. I have something going on in my house where I have one outlet that keeps like it has one of those buttons that, you know, if there's like a surge or something, it pops
everything.
Surge protector.
Yeah, surge protector. So it's basically affecting my living room setup. So I have to put my PS5 on shutdown versus sleep, because I put it on sleep. Then I come to realize, it's like if you lost electricity if you had the PS5 on sleep or the Xbox Series X on sleep. So I'm not sure what the dealio is with that, but I gotta get that handled. But
so this is why you can't be playing the games.
Nah, I'll be busy.
Okay.
It's like last night I worked till like 10 o'clock, you know, because I'm going to Japan, and obviously I didn't want to leave everything amuck, everything kind of strewn about, you know. So
makes sense.
Unfortunately, I was gonna I had plans. I was gonna get off work at 3:30. I'm gonna get some food and sit there and play Secret of Mana for hours. That way I could finally climb that mountain, but no, it did not happen. So got on my console at 10 o'clock and promptly fell asleep holding my controller at 10:45. So
it happens.
Still on my lap. I'm an old man. So
all I know is I'm eating for free at some point. That's
wow.
Yeah. It just depends whether it's going to be bought from both me and Desmond, or whether it's just me fitting the bill for both of y'all. So we'll have to see.
Wow.
That's all I know.
Wow.
We'll see that Sea of Stars there, son, as far as what you're up to. Have you gone back to it?
Yes, I have.
Oh, awesome. What did you decide to do? Did you buy the game digitally, or did you go
I bought the game digitally.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And I'll probably end up double dipping, because I'll probably get it for Switch. But,
got it.
But yeah, I was like,
I was being the pusher man this week after he told me
was.
that. Yeah, I was sending him links to Best Buy, and he could pick up the physical PS4, PS5 version or whatnot. So I was saying, Desmond, here you go. I believe in you. I still want you to win. So I want this competition to be fair, So
yeah, he says that, but nah, I think he believes it.
Yeah. What else have you been playing, Des?
What I've been playing? Well, I have been playing Sea of Stars, and I think that was one of the reasons why I'm a little behind, is because they took it off of PSN. So I think that I should get a reprieve, because the game that I was playing was taken off. So I think I'm going to give myself an extra 2 days, just to make sure. How's that sound? Sound okay? Can I do that?
Rules maker, Kev.
It was a joke. Excuse me. It was a joke, Joe. I was just kidding.
Oh, I thought maybe, hey, what's good for the goose is also good for the gander. But hey, I wish I could play my Secret of Mana playthrough portably. Unfortunately, I can't. But oh well.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's terrible. But honestly, I just kind of started playing it. But again, it was just because of my job. It's starting to ramp up a little bit more, and so I've been having to do a lot of stuff with it, and so I get home and I'm just like, ugh. So, but I completely understand now, why folks are like, the commute and all that stuff can be an issue, because man, oh man, it feels like I feel it sometimes. I'm just like I get home, I don't want to do anything, and then I still play D&D, so I run a D&D game every other Wednesday and every other Monday, And don't get me wrong, I enjoy it, and the crew that I run with is really fun, both of them. But it's just like sometimes I'm just like, ooh, I just get super super tired. So, but I think I'm definitely getting much more in the hang of my life right now, if that makes any sense. Like I feel like I'm getting more into it, so I'm able to do more. So anyway, um yeah, but that's pretty much all that I have been playing, except for a couple of other, that's my backlog blowout. I have been playing two other games, because I tried two other games, and that was Ease Origin. I tried it, and that's an interesting game. It is an RPG, but it's an action RPG, and depending on who you play, if you play the guy who's Hugo, he's a mage, but it kind of plays like a shooter, like a, I don't know. It's like it's like a top down, not top down. It's like a 3/4, view, and he has like lasers that he fires out of him, and so he's like a little running around kind of laser thing. So it's just a different way to play the RPG, and I've never played. I mean, I've played games like that, I guess, but it's interesting in the Ease, because it's like an action game. So it's a straight up JRPG. It's just, when you're running and you go into fighting, it doesn't change. You know how usually when you go in, it'll change to a different look.
From like the
loading screen
overworld
where
map to the battle map.
Exactly, Kev. It's the overworld map into the battle map, where there's nothing like that. It's just, and you kind of just like run around, and it's like a JRPG action game. It's really weird, and I don't know if it's only single player or if you can have another person with you or anything, because it's not side scrolling or anything like that. But I'm really intrigued by the game, and I'm really intrigued about how it plays. It's interesting. I don't know. I'd seen screenshots for it, and I think this is the game that people try to speed run, and it had a whole bunch of glitches in it that you can glitch through. But I'm not gonna like do any of that. It's just, I don't know. It's the story itself is very very like convoluted, missing gods, demon holes, flying continents. It's just, amnesiac people. It's just completely, bonkers, classic type of story. So in that aspect, I just started it, so I don't know how it's gonna start. But it's funny because it was like super cheap on the Switch, so I got it digitally. But then I didn't realize that I already bought it on the Nintendo. Sorry, I bought it on the PS5 because it's super cheap on the PS5. It's just a super cheap game. So I started it on my Switch, because I've been trying, very hard to play other things on my Switch, and I probably will end up playing it on my. I say unfortunately because I think the game, because of how small the characters are, I think it would look better on a bigger screen. So I will probably end up playing it on my PlayStation 5. I don't know. We'll see. The other game that I got, if you're not sure, PSN always has sales, and so I went through and I looked for sales, and I found this really interesting roguelite. It's not a deck builder, it's a dice builder, which is hilarious. So it is, instead of like playing cards, you roll dice. And as you progress and go through like the map, the overworld, and you roll dice, and the sides come, when you roll the sides, they come up and do certain things. And it's really kind of cool, because if you have one die and it says exhaustion, its effect will happen, and then it spins the dice. But you can control what's on the faces of the dice between each round. So it's a very interesting mechanic. Oh, and then you can put stuff, like they're called dice cores, and they're these like artifacts that you can put inside of the dice. And it's pretty interesting. The artwork is like sort of like almost like a picture book, with these, I don't want to say desaturated, because everything kind of pops, but it's like you're going through this enchanted woods, and you unlock, it's like a roguelike. You unlock things. The more you play, you get stronger, and yada yada yada. So it's definitely just like a palate cleanser, or the game you play before you start playing your other game. But it's called Tamarack Trail, and it was like $5 or something on PSN. And if you're a roguelike deck builder, you probably find it on Steam easy. It's fun. It's not too hard. The instructions make it seem more complicated than it actually is. I'll tell you that right now. Like, it really does. But other than that, it's a pretty fun little game. So, but those are the 3 games that I've been playing, as I'm trying very hard to at least beat one of the games during our playlist. So I'm hopefully I'll beat it tonight after the show, and then I can renege on the whole playing it on during the day tomorrow. Then I can be like, sorry, Joe, but no. I would do that. So, but at least I hope to beat at least one game, and the one that I've played over 27 hours on is Sea of Stars. So I guess it's going to be that one. So, but that's all that I've been playing. So, Kev, buddy, what have you been playing, sir?
The only game I've been playing lately has been Helldivers II.
Well, you're really loving it.
Yeah, there was a big patch update. I guess maybe it's days old now. Mm-hmm. And it buffed a whole lot of things up and really brought the game almost back to its former glory before all the nerfs happened. Flamethrower is back. The flame weapons that came with a fairly recent war bond, those are doing crazy damage now as well. They buffed the recoilless rifle. They've literally, I think the only weapon that got a debuff was the commando, and the only debuff that the commando got was that it can't take down an automaton walker. It takes 2 shots instead of 1 to take it down. Yeah, and it holds 4. So that's really the only debuff that came. There are still some weapons that are better than others, for sure. But what this buff has done is that now it's created more variety in people's loadouts. So folks aren't just defaulting to a set meta. People that are playing in teams are, okay, well, I'm going to focus on crowd control, so they have a certain setup. Okay, I'm going to focus on chargers or automaton walkers, whatever enemy they're fighting. So you've got a Helldiver covering that, and then there'll be another one who's like, okay, I'm going to just focus mostly on the flying enemies. So it's allowing teams to really play a variety of loadouts, and solo players have greater flexibility in what they choose to take. So now it's not, oh, well, if you're going to do solo, then your only choice to having a chance in the higher levels is a flame loadout or what have you. You can really dive into the meat and potatoes of the weapons and stratagems to really come up with some impressive results, depending on which enemy you're facing. The one weapon I think that surprised me the most was the crossbow. The crossbow has turned from a so-so weapon to literally it's a devastator. The crossbow is taking down chargers, it's taking down bile titans, it's taking down devastators, it's taking down automaton walkers. It's the crossbow has just turned into a just handheld weapon of mass destruction. It's really impressive what they've done with it. So I'm going to start bringing the crossbow into more and more of my runs. I still lean more toward the eruptor and the what do they call that weapon? I'm going to call it the Devastator, but I don't think that's the correct name for it. It's basically it shoots like these rods of death that cause impact explosions. They've amped that weapon up as well. It can take down chargers. They've really, I really like what they've done. Changed some of the bombardment patterns of some of the orbital bombardments, made them a little bit more precise. Definitely upgraded the megaton bomb, which is like a mini nuclear explosion that actually kills everything, whereas before it was just like a big flash, and the kill area was far smaller than the explosion was. They fixed that for sure. Now when you drop that thing, it literally kills everything in the explosion, automaton or insect. So it's really, a lot of people have said it's turned Helldivers 2 into a new game. I understand that sentiment because it's been so long since we've had loadouts that's really given us a lot of flexibility. It's almost, I feel like this was the game that they originally intended to put out, and they got sidetracked by a bunch of other things trying to do certain things, and they're starting to embrace the fact that, hey, if you give people options in how they approach these different missions, they're going to come back, and the numbers are showing that people are starting to come back to Helldivers 2, which is great. And really, that's the only thing I've played. Yeah. So I really don't have anything else. I have made a little bit more headway in Astrobot. I've taken out the boss in the first galaxy, the first nebula, and I'm working on gaining access to the second one right now. So Astrobot also is a fantastic platformer. If you even have if you like Ratchet and Clank, you'll love Astrobot. It's in a similar vein. Very pretty, very colorful, gorgeous game, smooth 60 frames per second. It's just awesome. So that's what I've been up to. So we're going to move on to our next topic on the docket, and that's going to be our vessel line responses. Sorry, Des, you got the mic, my friend.
Alrighty. So the question that we had on our last episode was, no judgment, but are you going to buy the new PS5 Pro? Let us know why or why not, and we'll talk about it on our next episode. Well, it's next episode, and it's time to talk about it. And we have two responses from longtime listeners and commenters, Goonie and John BT. Goonie says, no, because this PlayStation generation has felt like it's lacked games I've been looking forward to. An extended cross-gen period and long development times, the strange number of unnecessary remasters, and Sony's focus on live services has made the PS5 catalog feel thin compared to prior generations. If I do pick up a Pro, I don't know how many games will be released that I'm interested in before the PS6 rolls around. I'm fine waiting for the new generation to come, or to start. Yeah, I think a lot of us have said that sentiment. At least I did. I know I did. I think Kev, you were like, yeah, I'm going to get it. And Joe, you're like, yeah, I'm going to get it. But I think because you guys are like early adopters, you guys are really wanting to see what the new hotness is. So, I cannot wait to hear your thoughts when it comes out. Although, unfortunately for Joe, it looks like it's going to be coming out while we are in Japan. The pre-orders are going to happen while we are in Japan, so Joe might not be able to have a pre-order ready for it. Is that correct, Joe? Is that what I'm hearing?
I'll have to talk about it in news, sir, because there's a particular 30th anniversary PlayStation 5 Pro that I want and desire. So, and it's only available through PlayStation Direct, basically.
So looks like something. Well, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens and if Joe's able to get it. So please stay tuned because Joe's going to let us know if he's able to get it. I really hope he is. Okay, and John BT says he's taking a pause from hiking on his Scotland trip to shoot a reply. Well, thank you, John. I'm glad that you're, taking time off of your trip to beautiful Scotland. I will be going there hopefully next year, to get back at us. I really appreciate that. He's probably walking down a really remote, fantastic, beautiful Scottish trail, listening to our dose of tones right now. So thank you, John. Currently, I plan on buying one. My PS5 is getting a bit old, so I had been thinking of swapping it for a Slim already. Now, I think I'll get a Pro and sell the original with the new controller. I only game on console and would like to just put games on graphics mode and not get annoyed when it doesn't feel as smooth. I don't think it's the best value by any means, but that's what happens when there is no competition. Say that again. I just hope more games will unlock the graphics mode to go beyond 30 FPS. All that said, I've been itching to replay Axiom Verge 1 and 2, so it would be hilarious if those are the first games I play on the Pro. Actually, it would not be hilarious. That would be a Tuesday for Joe. So, what? Nothing? All these great, you get to...
Hey!
So I found this meme, that I loved, and I sent it to Joe because it was this guy, it was a gamer guy, it's always a gamer guy, and he's like, hey, so you're gonna get the PS Pro, and he's like, so you can play new games, and he's like, no, I'm getting it so I can play my old games better. And I'm like, okay. So I just thought that was hilarious because it's pretty much what a lot of people are going to be doing with it. So, but yeah, any comments, you guys, for Goonie and John Beachy? I'll start with Kev. Got any comments, my friend?
No, I mean it's if you felt the offerings on the PlayStation are a little slim and you're more than happy with what you already have, if you don't have a display that's going to take advantage of the increased power, resolution, and frame rate,
leave me alone, Kev.
It really doesn't. No, I'm not.
I know.
I'm not throwing shade. I'm just speaking facts. Then you're better off just waiting, either hanging on to your PS5 or waiting for the PlayStation 6 to come. But I will say this: your situation is not going to get any better when the PS6 rolls around. It's going to be a more powerful console than the PS5. So if you're still working with 1080p or what have you, you're still not going to get anything out of that system. I mean, it'll give you more time to upgrade if that's what you choose to do, but if you don't have a suitable display for the tech that you're using, that you're running on it, you're leaving a lot of benefits on the table. As for me, I have been playing a lot. I've purchased a lot. I don't know how much I've been playing.
You beat your games.
There's a lot in the PlayStation lineup that I have felt it's been nothing but slim for me. If you're into JRPGs, if you're into RPGs, if you're into fighting games, if you're into action games, this has been a banger year. So if none of those fit your wheelhouse, then I can definitely understand how someone would feel that way. But for me, for the type of games that I play, PlayStation has been serving the goods. So I really don't have a complaint on the game side. But PlayStation 6. I'm not really. I mean, of course, when it comes out, I'm going to get it, but this generation is going to go for another 3 or 4 years, in my opinion, before the PlayStation 6 even starts to hit the shelves.
I think it's gonna be 5 total. I think it's gonna be 5 years.
Yeah, so I'm not holding my breath for the PlayStation 6 anytime soon. It's going to be a while.
Yeah. How about you, Joe?
As far as Goonies thoughts, and those are all valid. I mean, pretty much, if you're not like super invested or have a ton of games on PlayStation, and even looking at what current Sony is right now, current Sony's been floundering for the last couple of years, so between your remasters and your emphasis on live service, that kind of fell flat on there. You got to kind of wonder why Jim Ryan left, while the getting was good on there. So, and I can understand. I mean, obviously I'm going to buy it because I have a gigantic library of games that I'll be able to benefit from, basically using the PS4 backwards compatibility boost mode on there. And I'm really curious as far as seeing the PSSR in action as far as for the current gen PS5 games, because I do have a considerable amount of games I haven't played that I want to play, and I know that PS5 Pro will play those games better on there. So, and I think, even though for most people it's like a necessary expense, to me it's just something I want to be able to play at the best fidelity possible and get the best performance I possibly can on there. If I was more spread out between platforms, I would probably not think about getting an enhanced console. Like, say if Phil Spencer or Sarah Bond came out and said that they're going to do the Series XXX or something,
Awesome.
I don't care if all the bells and whistles. It's just playing Xbox games, and so I don't really have a lot of games in that catalog, besides what's on Game Pass. So I mean, it's pretty much, it's not necessarily the system that's selling me, it's the system plus the games, and
well, that's why you buy a console anyway. You don't
Yeah.
buy a console for the console, you buy a console for the content it'll play.
Yeah, for sure. On there, I mean, and
Exactly.
I know that, like our listener Will D, I know he made the point that PS5 Pro at the very best is kind of mid-tier compared to what you could get on PC, but it's really kind of apples and oranges in a way, because the PC is a whole different beast in of itself. So
yeah, if you're spending $1,800, $2,000, yeah,
it better be.
You wouldn't. Why would you care about what's going on the console side? It's
Yeah.
I much love to the PC folks in our community, but it's like the arguments that I have been seeing on Twitter with regard to the PlayStation Pro and these 4090s that everybody claims to have. It's like, okay, so you're saying, oh, the PS5 Pro is trash because your 4090 can do, DSSR and RJR and Who Shot JR and the greatest fidelity. Well, yeah, because you spent anywhere from $1,000 to $1,800 just on the card alone. I would hope it would be able to do all that outside of a $700 box. I mean, I don't know. It has the PC master racists have just been coming out of the woodwork with some of their nonsense on Twitter. It's actually hilarious. It's like, why y'all mad? It's why do you even care? Now everybody is a junior consumer advocate looking out for the people, trying to put together these trash ass $700 used part PC builds and say, oh yeah, well, you can do that. You'll be able to spend this $700 and you'll be able to outperform whatever the PlayStation Pro is doing. Okay.
I was laughing my ass
Sure
off
can.
because on my Google News feed there was an article about Build a $700 PC to rival the PS5 Pro for Men's Health. Men's Health, the website menshealth.com. Like, it's not a point that you're going to tell me about what supplements and what exercise routine, but you're also going to tell me what PC I need to build to beat the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, because that's where I go for my PC information is Men's Health.
Men's Health, yeah.
That is precisely the source that I go to for that content. It's wild. What's funny is that we've got a $650 Series X with just with a bigger SSD, no enhancements, not going to play games any better. You just got the Destiny stripper glitter all over it, and they're charging you $650, and nobody is saying, "Who's this for? Why would I want to do it?" It's quiet as cat. Then you got a PS5 Pro that's offering you enhancements for $50 more, with it for a digital, and everybody is just having conniptions. It's amazing. The gaming community is just in many ways it's a laughing stock. It's like I can't take 70% of y'all seriously. It's wild.
People are funny. So, well, all right then. Thank you so much, John and Goonie, for your comments. And John, you enjoy your trip, my friend, and say hello to all the fairies and the woodland folk. But you know what follows me? It's the Jabroni Gaming News.
All right, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
All right, good deal. We're gonna lead off with good old Daddy Nintendo. Daddy Nintendo decided they were kind of sharpening their knives. They're in the pantry just waiting for things to cook. So if you haven't heard, Nintendo has sued Pocket Pair, the developers of Palworld. So they waited for Palworld to get this unrivaled business success, and months later decided to go ahead and sue them. And they filed the suit in Japanese court. So they filed a patent infringement lawsuit on here. They seek an injunction against infringement and compensation for damages on the grounds that Palworld, a game developed and released by the defendant, infringes multiple patent rights. And Nintendo stated they will continue to take necessary actions against any infringements of its intellectual property rights to protect their properties it's worked so hard to establish over the years. So of course, Pocket Pair has responded and stated that they're going to fight because they want to make sure that indies aren't discouraged from pursuing ideas. That's what they're calling it. So, yeah. They are seeking an injunction against infringement and compensation. Based on that fact, they stated, it's truly unfortunate that we will be forced to allocate significant time to matters unrelated to game development. We'll do our utmost for our fans and to ensure that indie game developers are not hindered or discouraged from pursuing their creative ideas. And what they went on to explain is that they were blown away by their amazing response to their game, and they've been working hard to make it even better for our fans on here, because it's in early access, it's all made with rubber bands and paper clips and all that stuff. So of course it's been rumored that Pocket Pair was going to unveil a PS5 version of Palworld, but I'm not sure if that's gonna rear its head or whether with this injunction that it's gonna be stuck in litigation. But you hate to see it, but obviously all these palette swaps and looking at all these pals that kind of look very similar to Pokemon, obviously. I could see where they might have to pay out a little bit of money, and also maybe take the game off stores if need be, but we'll see what happens. Kev, what's your overall feelings about this lawsuit?
Okay, so am I coming through okay? I just had a technical issue. Coming from someone who really doesn't play Pokemon at all, I was about to say very much, it's at all. I've never played a Pokemon game. The closest to Pokemon game I've ever played is Smash Brothers. So that's telling you something.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Yeah, I know. And someone who has tried Pocket Pairs game and thought it was as exciting as watching paint dry, at least in those beginning levels, because it was just so dull. I hope Nintendo beats the brakes out of these people in court. And I'm saying this as somebody who does not have a horse in this race whatsoever. One thing that just bothers the hell out of me, maybe, there's maybe a couple of things that irk me more. One thing I cannot stand is a thief. And I don't care what nobody says. Palworld just straight up copied and pasted a whole bunch of Pokemon and put it into their game. I don't care how much they've changed the gameplay. I don't care how we look at this ingenuity that we've applied by making it, what do you call those types of games where you got to build your shelter and build everything?
Oh, the survival games.
Survival games. I don't care how you paint it. I don't care how you try to dress it up. I don't care how you try to excuse it. These people stole. And I know Nintendo's problematic. They're problematic in court. They go after these small independent fans that are just posting ROMs of games that cannot be purchased on the Nintendo store and will force you to take out a second mortgage if you try to buy them on the secondary market. And Nintendo comes in like Dracula and just puts the fear in them and shuts them down and shuts their website. I get it. I'm not trying to paint Nintendo as this white knight of gaming by any stretch of the imagination. They've done some very problematic things in their history, but this is straight up freaking theft. I don't care what you call it. And I hope Nintendo sues them into bankruptcy. I really do. And I mean that. So yeah, I'm cheering for the big bad evil corporation in this instance. I hope they steal their freaking dreams. I hope they can't even close their eyes and have a dream without having to pay Nintendo for it.
Damn.
What about indie developers? What about indie developers?
Yeah, the indie developers that want to copy and paste. Yeah, stop that for sure. Stop them indie and it's an homage. It's an homage. Nah, bruh. No, I'm looking at this image right here. You got an overweight Pikachu riding a freaking Gatling gun. That don't cut it. That's freaking Pikachu. I don't care what you say. The other pictures they got this retarded looking Charizard over here. No, that's a Charizard. It's like you just barely changed a few things or made some color palette swaps and kept the core design of the original Pokemon character.
It's a Charizard.
And I know nothing about Pokemon. Don't know, don't care, but even I can see that. What about the people that actually care about the Pokemon franchise and have been enjoying it? No. I hope Nintendo takes their dreams away. I do.
Well, there you go.
Any opinion, Des, on this whole thing?
I think Kev said it all.
Okay.
Damn.
I know you posted a popcorn GIF in our.
That's
Discord,
why I was gonna watch and see what happens. I mean, I personally have no dog in the race. Well, I think it's interesting what they did. It's all just cut and paste of a bunch of different things that they put into something that kind of worked. And I hope what comes out of this is just that Nintendo innovates, because I get it. They stole. It's not right that they stole and they changed it up and everything like that. But what they did was actually kind of cool, and I really hope that, not in that same way, but I hope that this is like a wake up call for Nintendo. That's what I'm hoping, specifically for their Pokemon license, because I think that's one of the licenses that they have let kind of wallow in the wayside, because they haven't changed the formula in so long. It was very much a, if it's not broke, if there's nothing's broke, don't fix it kind of thing. But people came through and they did something. That's kind of one of the reasons why I really wish that Pocket Pair had actually was actually like smart, and they actually didn't do this, because if they hadn't did the swapping, or the stealing, the outright stealing, they could have had something really interesting, but they chose to go that route, and become very problematic. And so now that's kind of where they're at. And so what could have been something really cool is now relegated to being something really, really kind of bad and saucy. So
yeah.
So again, I just really hope that they're. So in a perfect world, what would happen is they would say, the court would say, okay, you lose. Now you have to go through and you have to remove everything that could be identified as trademark infringement. Remove all that stuff, and that would force Pocket Pair to literally go in and create all new skins and whatnot and stuff like that. I think that's probably what the outcome is going to be, and we might still have a Palworld in the future, but at this point they just gotta come correct or a little bit better with what they're doing, because it just is not. So, but we'll see. I mean, this is going to be. I mean, if Nintendo loses, I have to say, if Nintendo loses this, it's going to be a nightmare for other people with intellectual.
And everybody's going to do it.
Yeah,
everybody's going to do it.
I found it kind of crazy that there's other games in the monster collecting genre that Nintendo hasn't even sniffed near, as far as Temtem, if you know that game, or Nexomon as well. It's even called Mon at the end, but they never sued those quote unquote indie developers. So
because I still think it was that blatant. I mean, that's the thing. I just don't think that it was that blatant. Number one, and to be completely honest with you, 100%, it's about money. Pocket. It was. And what's funny, the thing that kind of kills me about this, and I don't know about you, but please, and I'm going to be a little petty right now. It might be. You notice that Nintendo didn't do ish when it was on Xbox, but the minute they're going to PlayStation, they come out the woodwork. I really believe that that's not a coincidence. 100% believe that's not a coincidence. Once they were jumping onto the hottest system, and y'all can tell me, oh no, it's not the hottest system. It is. Come on. PlayStation, Sony, they are the hottest system right now. And when
in the West, not
that's
so
fine.
Much in Japan.
That's fine. I would say much of their money comes from folks in the West. So, but think about it though. They were doing nothing when it was on the Xbox. The minute somebody started sniffing around and was saying, okay, we see there's money to be had here. And then it was like, no, thank you. No. You saw that, right? Like that was not a coincidence. I will tell you now, that was not a coincidence. So I think a lot of people will be waiting to see what goes on with this, because if they lose, Oh, it's gonna be crazy, y'all. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah. Tons of people are gonna be able to just make whatever they want out of those properties. Like, seriously.
You're gonna be seeing the Mario, Zelda straight up ripoffs. Yep. Not even attempt to hide it anymore. Nope. It's all going. It's all going. Yeah, it's all up for grabs.
And I really believe that. Like, I really believe that you're gonna see like palette swaps and some guy that looks like Joe working at the DMV, who gets in the car and drives to the Radish Kingdom. I'm telling you, that's what it's gonna be.
Oh my God.
Just saying.
The Radish Kingdom.
I don't know. I rather go to the radishes. I want no radishes. Like the Banana Kingdom.
The Banana Kingdom? What racist is that? Banana Kingdom. What's wrong with you, sir?
I like bananas.
Actually, you do like bananas. You're like crazy for bananas, so it's kind of crazy that you're like that.
Got it, man. Come on.
Oh, he's ready.
If you're gonna make a game, yeah, and maybe it's less on the nose with the Mushroom Kingdom, so less on the nose,
Mushroom.
Even though we're not worried about Big Daddy Nintendo because
it's called the Fungi Kingdom.
Yeah.
It'll still be mushrooms. It'll still be mushrooms. It'll just call it the Fungi Kingdom.
Right. Jeez. Right. In any case, I do believe that whatever happens, it's going to be
Queen Shiitake.
Queen Shiitake. I can see it. But anyway, I just think that folks need to just keep their eyes peeled and and just be aware that we will be getting some new type of stuff if Palworld
lose. We talk about the whole slate coming from Xbox coming to PlayStation. The whole slate of Nintendo properties is going everywhere. Just in bootleg form.
That'd be hilarious. Like I
kind
laugh.
Of occurring in China already.
Like we laugh and all. But if a court says that bootlegs are okay, it's over. It's over.
I think Nintendo, even if they lose, they'll countersue and they'll do what they need to do. They got enough money.
They will put money onto this. So
take their dreams, Nintendo. Take their freaking dreams.
Just know out there, if you're planning on doing this, just keep it on Xbox. No one would care. God. Keep it on Xbox.
Well, speaking of Xbox, we'll talk about Xbox. Basically, it was stated in their financials in Bloomberg, in their write-up, stated how much Microsoft is invested in Xbox Game Pass. They said that based on their estimates that they spend about $1 billion annually to pull third-party games onto Game Pass, often parting ways with millions of dollars just to put pen to paper and to get the deals signed on here. So based on the Bloomberg article on there, they talked about Game Pass and basically stated that, it started as a small library of games at a low price point. But they basically made it like a massive effort to be able to, obviously lift it up to where it is today on there. So, and it's kind of crazy that they spend about $1 billion a year bringing third-party games on the Game Pass on there. And no wonder like some of these publishers are putting their games on Game Pass because they don't need success in the market. They just need Microsoft to give them money, So, and, we'll have to see, in the end. I mean, I don't know how much, EA gets from the association with Game Pass, but I bet you anything. It's in the hundreds of millions of dollars more than likely. So, it's just kind of crazy to think that, maybe Sony didn't want to get involved with this because they don't want to put up the same amount of money for their PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium as Xbox is doing. I know that, PlayStation does at times secure like some indie exclusives on the service. Like Plucky Squire just got put in day and date, and Stray was previously a title on there that was available on the service. So it just depends. But I think Microsoft in the end, I mean, I wish in a way that they would have spent that $1 billion just maybe finding out some developers out there and having them develop games if need be versus securing games for their service. Because I think, they might have a more robust of a catalog or a platform to be able to call upon than just, buying these games outright. So,
well, they got out of the game making business. They decided to trade that in to just be a distributor. Seriously, that's the model. It's so hilarious because they're literally doing the backwards of what Netflix did. So Netflix, would send all these stuff out, didn't have their own content. Now Netflix has their own content as well as getting, stuff from like the movie theaters, where Xbox went the opposite. They were creating their own games and getting some games in, but now they just like literally for the most part stopped, producing their own games. I mean, they still do, but it's a lot different than what they used to do. So it's just like,
well, it's all from Activision, Bethesda, and all the
that's what I mean. It's like they literally are trying to emulate like streaming services, and I'm like, well, okay. I mean, good luck with that, but it's not a good look, is all I'm saying. Well, we all knew that, so whatever.
Kev, are you surprised with the $1 billion price tag a year that they spend on third-party games?
I'm not surprised. It just makes me wonder. Instead of spending $1 billion a year, $80 billion to what was for Activision was $80 billion, but Bethesda $15 billion. How much less money would it have cost to have just gone and created an incentive program like what PlayStation does with China Hero Project? Now they've got the India Hero Project, other parts of the world. Just going out to where developers are and saying and looking at the content they're creating and saying, hey, that looks really dope. We'd like to have it on our console. Is it impossible for Microsoft to do the same thing? You can't tell me it would have cost that as much money as it did to acquire Activision and Bethesda and paying $1 billion annually to keep third-party games on the Game Pass. I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. If I had $1 billion to purchase licenses for a game service, I'd probably pick different games, so, or even think, I look at the games on the service, it's like, I wonder how much, High on Life got, or, other games that were placed into the service, It's like, I appreciate that some of these indie devs got paid, mind you, on there. And I know there's some indie devs out there that are a big proponent of this because, hey, easy money is easy money. I mean, games up on the service, that's like guaranteed money. So that I want to see more games from Microsoft itself, Microsoft Game Studios. I want to see what happened to Contraband. I want to see all these different games that they announced throughout the last few Xbox summer showcases, and they can win all the summer showcases that they want. They need to bring out the games that they show in these showcases, and I can understand that Sony is basically kind of in the same spot in a way because we're just waiting for all the different developers to come out with new games, between Naughty Dog and Sony Santa Monica and, just waiting for new stuff to come out, So we'll have to see what happens. In the meantime, we got our third parties, we got our indies, and kind of go from there. So.
Yep.
All right. All right. Next thing I want to talk about, Concord. We talked about it last week. Probably last time I felt like that was probably the last time we're going to talk about it. But there's some new information that came out from Colin Moriarty, of all people, on there. So he's the long-noted IGN from the IGN PlayStation podcast that went off to do his own podcast, and he basically stated on his podcast. Sacred Symbols, that he spoke with someone within PlayStation that worked on Concord, and he basically stated that that person that he talked to said that the game was so prominent within PlayStation it was kind of referred to as quote unquote the future of PlayStation, and they felt like the game had Star Wars like potential on there. And or according to what he was talking about and what his source said, that they spent between the company that started developing Concord, and then obviously when Sony bought the studio in 2023, and the additional funds that they put into the studio as well, that they basically put up to $400 million within the game. And that no one within the developer basically wanted to say anything because they wanted to be positive about what was being shown. They didn't want to criticize, if there was any flaws with the game on there. So that's basically what led for this thing to be like the biggest flop in quite a bit of time for games, at least. So. I know that the director of the game, Ryan Ellis, has stepped down on there. Basically, he is announced, or it's been stated that he's off the project now. He's going to provide some tech support if need be, but he's stepping away from the project. So I think he felt. According to what Colin Moriarty was stating, he gave a speech to everyone at Firewalk when the game came out, and he was so emotional he couldn't complete his sentences because he was starting to cry because he's so emotional about it. So I kind of feel for the developer of this game, but there's a lot of stuff that came about with this game, and so it's like. Like we stated last week, I seriously doubt that it is coming out in some sort of truncated form anytime soon. So, any thoughts, Kev, about the $400 million price tag on this thing?
I was listening to, this was Friday. I was listening to a podcast called Persona Plays. He is one half of What's Up PlayStation, a weekly podcast focused on the PlayStation ecosystem that he does with a cat named Jabroni. Solid dude, solid show. Definitely have their own opinions. They're not beholden to the platform. They are just fans of the platform. They critique it when they feel it deserves to be critiqued. I'd highly recommend those guys' show. And these guys are also know Sean Layden. They can call him up and have him appear on their podcast. Not a whole lot of people can do stuff like that, and these guys are completely independent. And he said something Persona did on his Friday show that made a lot of sense. He's like, this is completely antithetical to how PlayStation's prior acquisitions of new studios has gone in their history. They don't just throw money at something basically sight unseen. They have a studio do work for them. If it's proven to be a critical and sales success, then they move forward with possibly acquiring them. This seems completely antithetical to that layout. Now, we will know how much it really cost Sony when they do their reports, their quarterly or annual reports for their because they're a publicly traded company. I was listening to Craig the Tech, another podcast. Craig the Tech guy was breaking that down earlier this morning, and we will know how much the actual figures are for Concord. But I gotta say, man, if you really could look at that game, if you could really and honestly look at that game, whether you're who is the current guy in charge right now? I can't remember that. I can't
Herman
remember.
Hulst,
Herman Hulst or Jim Ryan, whoever was sitting in charge and looking at this game and hearing the feedback from the community about this game and think that this is going to be your future, you really should be fired. I'm sorry.
Man.
And I mean, Herman Hulst was the guy that gave us the Horizon series, and I'm not really I don't really follow the execs. I just follow the results of their leadership as far as the games that I get. So, hey, everybody's entitled to a screw up now and then, but damn, if you can honestly look at Concord, even if you're a fan of the game, if you could honestly look at these character designs, we got grandma assassins, we got weird looking, I don't know what to call, like 80% of these characters. And I'm not talking about the woke, anti-woke stuff. I'm just talking about the character designs themselves. They look like Overwatch rejects. It's like each one of them went to apply to be on Guardians of the Galaxy. They got rejected, and then they walked right over to Overwatch and did auditions there and got rejected. And they said, "Well, screw it. We'll just form our own retarded Voltron and call it Concord." This, you can't tell me that they were able to look at this game and consider it the future. It's like I listened to a big part of Colin's podcast where apparently Herman Hulst viewed this as his baby and didn't want to hear about negative feedback. Bruh, if that's true, you don't deserve your job. I'm sorry, you don't. If you could really look at Concord and think that this is the future of PlayStation, bruh, come on, man. No. Mm-mm.
So probably the last time we talk about it, unless Sony decides to bring it out again, but oh well. So we'll kind of end our news and then go into our new announcements and release dates section of the news. There's been alleged images of the new Nintendo Switch on here. So there's been both images and also renders of the system. So this originally appeared on Reddit, but it was originally sourced from a Chinese social media site. So they show a device with an 8-inch screen, magnetic Joy-Cons, and USB-C ports on both the top and bottom of the unit on there. While the images are unverified, one source who has not seen the final Switch 2 console but has been briefed on Nintendo's plans told Video Games Chronicle that the Reddit images match what the company has told partners to expect from its design on here. According to the images, Switch 2 will include 12 gigabytes of RAM. That is more than the 4 gigabytes of RAM in the original Switch. Support for HDMI 2.1 and 256 gigs of internal storage. So it's not going to be an entire terabyte, but at least it's better than the 32 gigs that was in the original Switch. on here. As far as the Joy-Cons, the controllers are very similar. They have revised SL and SR buttons and front-facing player LEDs as well on there. So, and if you look at the article, they talk about the have the renders and the screenshots of that. One thing that some users were noting from the renders is that there's a 2 cartridge slots on the unit, meaning that there's a cartridge slot for the original Switch, and then there's a larger slot for any Switch 2 games that are released. So we're taking a look at that. And according to previous leaks, they said that that Switch 2 handheld will support 1080p, and that its new dock will support 4K resolution. So, you know, and according to the article too, they talked about that what they expect based on the financials and what everything's going on is that this system is going to get announced sometime soon, and that it will be out by release before April 2025 on there. So one thing that they took a look at is that one of their manufacturers, their assembler, which is called Hoisiden, is spending about 2 billion yen on production equipment and 1 billion yen on automation in fiscal year 3, their current fiscal year. So they are ramping up manufacturing according to the assembler's financials. So that's pretty much a foregone conclusion that these things might be being cranked out in China as we speak. So any excitement? I mean, we talked about Switch 2 till we're blue in the face on the show, just talk about the rumors, but this seems like it's like, you know, it's like probably the last rumor before Nintendo actually announces something.
Let's go. Let's do this.
My question is how much is it?
No one knows, so we'll see. So.
I'm gonna predict, and you may consider this controversial. I'm gonna predict a $400 price point. If this thing's got an NVIDIA chipset, I think the current one also has an NVIDIA chipset, I think, and it's, you know, double the RAM, you know. Double your pleasure, double my gum, all that other stuff that's in it, supposedly PS4 like performance. I'm going to predict that I'm going to predict a higher price point of $400.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be $399. $399. How do you mind?
I'm gonna put stakes on this, but I'm thinking it's coming in higher than that. So
which one? What, like $500?
I'm thinking $449.99 at least.
$450? Nah, I think it's gonna be $450.
Well, right now the OLED is $349.99, so it's
maybe.
You know, I don't think they're gonna come in with just a $50 difference between Switch 1 and Switch 2, because Switch 1, I mean, the non-OLED Switch is like $299.99, and the OLED's $349.99. So to me, it's like that screams $449 at the low, $499. I think maybe. And it goes, you know, you're talking about the yen. The yen's pretty weak right now too, so, and it's still weak. So they're gonna make their money.
But yeah, that's still
Nintendo hasn't sold a console at a loss since time began. So they is like, we ain't subsidizing nothing. You gonna pay.
That's true.
Weak yen or no weak yen, Nintendo said, you better have my money.
Yep. I think to be completely honest with you, what Joe just said, I think it might be $499 out the door.
500? You think they're going to go for 500?
Yeah, I think so. When I think about it, you know, I would, unless they drastically reduce the OLED, so to keep it, because he puts up a good point. Like $50 price point difference. I mean, people will just go ahead and just buy the new thing. So why have something so close in at a price point? You know? So that's why I'm thinking you're either gonna have to have a dramatic jump, because this is a dramatic jump to me. Like this is not reinventing, but it's like you're really giving the consumer something good. And I think Nintendo's gonna try to get as much money off of this, as they can, because honestly, if you ask me, this might be the last console we get from Nintendo for a while. You know.
Oh yeah.
And I think because of that, they might go with Joe was saying with the $4.99. So if we were gonna do like a stake bet, I would have to go with Joe on that. Like I put my money on Joe. But yeah.
500 though.
I'm saying
449
right now.
449. Really? 449? That sounds weird rolling off the tongue though for something new.
Yeah.
I would think that it would come out at $4.99 and then drop within like a year and a half to 2 years. Then drop to $4.99 or $4.49. See, now I'm all wondering now. If you're listening, when you're listening, if you're listening on YouTube or if you're listening on and go to our Discord, let us know what you think the price is going to be on that. Because I know some of you out there love doing price charting, and I think if someone was to do a price chart for how the last couple of consoles went, I think we'd have a better idea of what was going to happen. So, but again, I think $4.99 is where it's going to be. They're going to try to get as much money as they can up front and then drop it. Because think about what you're getting. You're getting, like, it's backwards compatible. You're getting new games. You're probably going to release new games on it when it comes out. So, and wouldn't it be crazy? Okay, now wouldn't it be crazy? Just hear me out. Just hear me out. Wouldn't it be crazy if Wilds was released on it? Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? Do you know I don't know. I think if Wilds came out on the Switch, that would be bananas. Like, seriously. Could you imagine that?
That would be a good move.
Hell yeah, that would sell so many. That would sell so many Switches.
And if this thing has PS4 like power, I ain't trying to play Wilds on a PS4. I'm sorry.
The only thing I have to say about Wilds on the Switch 2 is that there's a Series S version of Wilds. So there you go.
Oh, I didn't realize that. You're right. Then it can play on it.
Well, is the Series S as powerful as a PS4? I guess that's it. I don't know. I don't know what any of these tech gadgets do, and as what their components actually mean in the real world. I don't know. Is a PS4 and a Series S comparable in performance? Yeah. Everything that I've seen says no. But the Series S is the chug in the wheel in the assembly line for Microsoft consoles. Without that, there's no doubt. Mm-hmm. Is a PS4 or PS4 Pro less as powerful as a Series S? I personally don't think so, but I have no way to prove that. This is just me just talking out of my chukas. I don't think that's the case. And if this thing is offering PS4-like performance, which, based on what other people have said, what few breakdowns that I've heard talking about speculating, I ain't trying to play Wilds on a PS4. No. Mm-mm. So it would be a killer. It would be a killer move for Nintendo for sure. But bruh, I ain't trying to do that. I ain't trying to do that.
Because I watch a couple of people online, and I watch a couple like Switch Watch and Physical Paradise or some things that I watch, and they talk about physicals and stuff on the Switch. And one of them, there's a new Atelier game coming out, and it's coming out on every console except the Switch physically. So you could download it on the Switch, but there's no physical for the Switch. And one of the thoughts, or the conspiracy thoughts, is that it's because it's going to be released on the Switch too. So I keep thinking now when I'm looking at these release dates and releases that these really big releases that are supposed to be coming out, I'm thinking about, okay, is this going to be released on the Switch 1 or the Switch 2? And I'm thinking people are starting to move to creating games on the Switch 2's hardware. So that's why I think we might not get a Wilds on Switch 2 day and date, but I do think that we will get it for the Switch too. Like, for some reason, it seems like that's what we would be getting. And if they do, I really believe that will move some Switches. That is so cool. Oh,
mm-hmm. Okay. So,
all right, we'll go and move on to our announcements and release dates section. It's quite meaty because of TGS coming up and rumors and speculation, of course. So a game that kind of got announced out of the freaking blue to celebrate its 10th anniversary, Freedom Wars Remastered is coming to PC, Switch, and PlayStation in January. So the game's going to run at 60 frames per second on both PC and PlayStation platforms. On here, if you remember Freedom Wars was a first-party Sony interactive entertainment title for the PlayStation Vita. So basically, that the developer of the game, Dimps, on here developed the game, and they were looking to do something for the 10th anniversary of the title. And Sony allowed for them to license the game out to another third party, and Bandai Namco came into the foray to go ahead and authorize and get this release going. So if you look at the trailer does indicate that it's trademark Sony Interactive Entertainment. So, what they're doing with the game now, they're going to be messing with the crafting system. It's been overhauled, and a new difficulty setting has also been added. So, and it's kind of cool because, this game was a 4-player, even though it's not like Monster Hunter, I think it deserved to be on other platforms besides the Vita on there. And I think it's cool that it's coming back out. I think I'm going to dip into this once it does come out in January of next year. What do you guys think about this announcement?
Yeah, I still have my Freedom Wars copy on Vita. It's somewhere here. I enjoyed it. I don't think I finished it. I think I came close to finishing it because I put a lot of hours into it. Fun game, and yeah, I'll be revisiting it.
You paying off your $1 million debt to the
to the government.
To the government, yeah.
Government.
Yeah.
Any interest in this, Des, at all? Did you play Freedom Wars? I think we all played Freedom Wars, originally.
Yeah. I mean, it looks interesting. Most likely, though, I'll probably play it at your house just to check it out, and then or I'll watch some videos about it and see. But
it's on Switch, so God forbid. I mean,
oh no,
you can play it on your favorite console.
Oh yeah, and once we get that Switch 2, then I'll be like, hell yeah.
You know it. All right, and then PlayStation, and that surprised everyone. They decided to go ahead and re-up on that 20th anniversary PlayStation and bring out a 30th anniversary PlayStation collection. So, so they announced quite a few different items coming out, and I'm gonna, before talking about the 30th anniversary collection items, I kind of brought back memories because me and Kev were at the first PlayStation experience back in 2014 in Las Vegas, and they announced the 20th anniversary PlayStation 4 at the time, and we got there early. I told Kev I want to get there early, and we, because the Las Vegas Convention Center was like this big labyrinth of halls and whatnot, we weren't able to figure out where to go and queue up in line. But by the time we queued up in line, I got into the line for the PlayStation 20th anniversary PS4, and I was like, basically, like, I think if you remember right, Kevin, I was like close to the part of the line where they basically told me, too bad, so sad, we sold out. Yeah, it was like I had one person ahead of me to buy this thing, and of course they opened it up on PlayStation.com later on in the day, but I was inside this event, and the internet inside the Las Vegas Convention Center was a big old booty butt back in the day, so I never was able to pick up a 20th anniversary PlayStation like I wanted to, but and now I have the chance. But as Desmond alluded to at the beginning of the show, this is going to be live on PlayStation Direct on September 26th. So September 26th, I am going to be with Des in Japan. So depending on when it's up, if it comes up 7 o'clock, September 26th in Pacific Standard Time, it's going to be like 11 o'clock in the evening Thursday, Japan time. So, and me and Desmond are planning to go see the English rock group Iron Maiden on Thursday night. So who knows? I might be rocking out and missing out on my 30th anniversary PlayStation opportunity on here, but we'll have to see what happens. But included in the 30th
I hope
anniversary,
you do it, Joe. I think you should just say, to hell with Iron Maiden, and when you're rocking out, just be on your phone, trying to buy this.
Instead of running to the hills, I'll be running to my phone. So.
Yep, running on the phone.
Well, the 30th anniversary collection will be including the following. So there's a number of different things. So they have a PlayStation 5 Pro console. It's the 30th anniversary limited edition bundle. It includes a, kind of gray
tone, sharp.
Gray tone PS5, basically looking like a PS1. It includes a 2 terabyte SSD. Wi-Fi 7, just like the normal PS5 Pro, and then it includes matching limited edition accessories. It has a DualSense wireless controller, that's gray, DualSense Edge wireless controller, so you get 2 controllers in the bundle. You get a DualSense charging station and a console cover for a disk drive. It also includes a vertical stand and special collector's items. It includes original PlayStation controller style cable connector housing. It includes 4 PlayStation shapes cable ties, a PlayStation sticker, a limited edition PlayStation poster, and a PlayStation paperclip. Oh shit! So, and this thing, unfortunately, is going to be limited on here. So it's only limited to
something like 12,000.
12,300 units on here. So, and because it's on PlayStation Direct, at least in the US and other territories, it's going to be basically limited to your PSN account. But even so, I think multiple people will probably be queuing up to scalp or just to put into a closet and keeping the console unopened on this thing. So, but that's the big daddy. But they also have the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition 30th Anniversary Limited Edition bundle. So this is just a regular PS5 digital system. And then the console cover for a disc drive is also included with it. So if you happen to buy the disc drive, they want people to buy disc drives for some reason. You're able to.
They better, because I got a big physical collection I still want to be able to play. Yeah, you better provide that.
But this is a regular PS5, so if you want this will be in more plentiful quantities because of the fact it's not limited like the PS5 Pro 30th Anniversary Edition. So, and this does include all of the doodads, including the PlayStation controller style cable connector housing, the 4 PlayStation shapes cable ties, the sticker, the poster, and the paperclip. So. They're also including a PlayStation Portal remote player. So if you want the PlayStation Portal in this gray tone, the original PS1, it's available for you. And they're also releasing a DualSense Edge wireless controller, 30th Anniversary Edition, and then a regular DualSense as well on there. So those are all They will all be released on November 21st on here, and the other consoles besides the PS5 Pro will be available at retailers as well. It's just the PS5 Pro collection, because of its limitation, it's only going to be available on PlayStation Direct. Now, if you happen to be in the country that does not have PlayStation Direct, it will be available at retailers as well, just in case on there. So you know, we'll have to see. Any excitement for this? I mean, Kev, if you're going to get a PS5 Pro, are you going to try to get the 30th anniversary edition of it?
You know, every time PlayStation brings out one of these special event consoles, my money is earmarked for other stuff. I got, my anniversary is coming up, and now I found out today I got a nice little car repair that I got to take care of. So, yeah, that money's pew, and trust and believe that Pro bundle, that's going to be $1,000 at the least. At least $1,000. I would be surprised if it was less than $1,000. So yeah, I won't be getting it. Unfortunately, I got real life stuff that needs to be taken care of. But if you, for folks who are, and I'll just go ahead and say it, if folks are serious about wanting to get a hold of this special edition Pro, man, just subscribe to a bot. Let the bot do it. Reserve a whole bunch of them. Then you get that report. You cancel the ones you don't want. That's you're going to be the only way you're going to be able to get it. I hate to be the one to break it to you. Just subscribe to a purchase bot.
How about you, Joe?
Subscribe to a purchase bot.
Well, I mean, I'm going to try my hardest. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to have to worry about a bot because I'll be in Japan with you, Des. But
you are the bot.
You know it. I have bought plenty of PlayStations for other people, so I will see what I can do. We'll be all tired after our first day at TGS and Iron Maiden, and I'll be sitting there like a damn donkey sitting there on my phone.
I'm sitting there rocking out on your damn phone.
So if I can't get the PS5 Pro, I don't want to buy a PS5 30th anniversary, even though it'd be nice to have. I think if at all, I'll probably pick up a DualSense Edge, a 30th anniversary DualSense Edge. I think would be nice to have, and I think that would be collectible as well. And I would actually use that thing too. So.
Mm-hmm.
So
because I think there's also going to be for the standard Pro, there's going to be a retailer's pre-order day. Because I think isn't like the 26th just for PlayStation Direct, and then
correct, yeah, October 10th for
retail,
yeah. So
I think everybody that wants to get a basic PlayStation 5 Pro will be able to get one. But this one, nah. This one,
we'll see. No. I'm hoping I'm successful. I'm thinking about.
I hope you are too. Because you're somebody that wants one. It's like every time one of these specialty consoles come up, something happens, and I got to earmark money that I would be able to put towards this to something, real life stuff. This is no different.
I did get that PlayStation 4 Pro. I think they had a celebration after they sold the 100 million units on here. So I did pick up that. I do have it. So it's the 500 million limited PS4 Pro on there, and I used it, and guess what? The shell is scratched out. So, but fuck it, I used it. Okay, I relish in the fact that I used the system. It's not sitting in the box somewhere accumulating money. Because when I die and when Desmond burns my corpse up, he could take that 500 million Pro, bury it with me, in the backyard with the tree. Pour my ashes in there. So
nope.
Nope.
I will play it in your honor, sir.
Thank you. I am a man who will play. Oh wait, sorry. Okay.
Don't play them games in your honor.
All right, another game announcement this week. Ryuga Goku and the studio RGG Studio from Sega announced the next Like a Dragon game. So, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii
So silly.
was announced. So it's coming out on February 28th, 2025 on there. So Goro Majima, of course, the man with the eye patch, the crazy ass Yakuza man, is back in his own game. Of course, he manages to be shipwrecked on a beach in outskirts of Hawaii and forgets who he is, and then gets into this big Yakuza like processing center for toxic waste. And manages to get a pirate crew together to fight against the pirates on that island, and it looks freaking bananas. So
yeah, I think they got tired of doing stuff that was super melancholy and dramatic, and they're just like, okay, we're just gonna have fun now. They're like, all right,
they've been having fun. So
that's what I mean. It's like with the whole Like a Dragon series has just been complete and utter bananas. So I was like, okay.
I saw an article with the RGG studio, and they were commenting that they don't understand why most game studios start and redo a game each time the numbered iteration comes out. That they just go in and basically just riff off in the same engine or a similar engine what they did with the previous game, and just kind of go wild and get inspired with like TV or other media that they consume, and kind of go from there. That the reason why they're able to crank out so many games is that they're not reinventing the wheel each time and creating something fresh on there. They're basically just kind of reiterating off their work, but in a way it's like, it's kind of cool. It's like, imagine if you're a manga artist or something and you're creating a series, but you just wind up ending the series like after 5-6 books. You might as well just keep reiterating on it. I mean, RGG Studio is kind of like the One Piece of games, basically, when you think about it. So, but looking forward to that. I want to get back into Like a Dragon, and so many games in the series. Like, oh my god, where am I going to jump on? But
it doesn't matter, dude.
It doesn't matter. Next set of announcements. There was a leak, of course, from ESRB. So Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered is coming out, and it's going to be rumored to be unveiled at a State of Play that's happening this next week on there. So if you just happen to demand that Horizon Zero Dawn is just not in the greatest of shape, which, it runs beautifully. The PS4 version runs beautifully on PS5, 60 frames a second. So I don't know why it's being remastered, but hey, guess what? It's remastered because Sony loves to remaster things. So
too many remasters.
Get that additional dollar. And of course, after this got leaked, there was another rumor that another game is getting remastered. Yeah, so Days Gone.
I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Like, I don't get it.
I don't get it either, And if the game needed an update, that'd be one thing, but it doesn't. And it's just like between Horizon Zero Dawn, Days Gone, Until Dawn. I'm just like, too many Dawns, too many remasters. Get the fuck out of here. So I don't know. They
wouldn't do it if people weren't buying them. And I know. People get, and again, we're looking at this from the standpoint of people that have been in the PlayStation ecosystem for a long time. Yeah. There's always new people coming into the PlayStation ecosystem. And when these remasters come out, if you didn't have a PS4 when Horizon Zero Dawn dropped, and you're just now getting into PS5, that's just one more game that they're going to be able to sell a new PlayStation owner. I mean, that's the fact of the matter. Everybody gets all bent out of shape over these remasters, whether it's Sony, whether it's Capcom, whether it's whoever, whatever company. It's like, look, if people weren't buying them, they wouldn't be making them.
Yep.
That's what it boils down to. So we can get all mad and bitter and say, where's my new stuff? At the end of the day, we are not the majority of the gaming public. We're not. The enthusiast is not the majority. It's those folks that maybe buy 1 or 2 games a year, not plugged into the gaming industry, not really, hey, I had a PS2 and maybe they just completely dropped out of video games for several gens and they're coming into PS5 and because it's what the folks at the office are talking about and Horizon Zero Dawn, didn't that I never had a PS4, now I got the PS5 and well, yeah, I'll go ahead and buy that. That's why all these companies do this. It's not an excuse. It's just
it's business.
Hey, it's business. Yeah. Whether we like it or not, it's business. I for one will probably buy it because I'm a Horizon stan. I love the series. I think it's one of the best open world video games I've ever played. So I will be there for it. Not because I need to play it again, just because I like the series.
Kev, do you think you kind of equate it to like yearly refreshes for cars? Because
no.
you have because think about it, because like you'll have a Toyota, a 2001, and then you get like a 2002 Toyota with a little bit of upgrades, and then you get 2003 with a little bit of upgrades. Do you think that's kind of what these remasters are kind of like, or because the reason why I ask this is because business is business, and there's certain business trends that people just do, and other business types try to look at like, oh well, what's this section of business doing? What's this section? And I kind of thinking, all business kind of learns from each other and kind of proliferates out of each other. So sometimes I'm kind of thinking maybe that's why, because it's much easier to up-res or redo things that you already have, and instead of bringing out something new. So I'm kind of thinking like how to equate it to other parts of or other businesses.
Yeah, that only goes for certain pockets of the car market. If you've got a Toyota Camry that is, say, 4 years old, you ain't gonna give a damn about the next Toyota Camry that maybe has a different aesthetic, slightly different aesthetic. They put a spoiler in the back where yours doesn't have one. You are not going to trade yours in and spend another $30,000 just to get that. Now, if you have a you have a C8 and the Z06 just dropped, but again, I wouldn't even say that's the same, because if you are interested in that, you already knew that Z06 is coming. So you should have been aware I know how Chevy moves in the performance space. They dropped the Stingray. I know that Z06 is coming. I know that ZR1 is coming. I know that E-Ray is coming now, that electric whatever thing that they're coming out with. I'm not a fan of electric cars. It's a scam in my opinion. But anyway, you already know because you're an enthusiast, right?
Yeah.
It's just like this. This is for new people. So if you want to compare it to, say, the car industry, you got mom and pop, little girl just graduated from high school. She's getting ready to go off to college. They want to provide her with reliable transportation. She's a first-time car buyer, right? Mm-hmm. So mom and dad have Toyotas. Dad's Toyota might be a brand new Camry. Mom's Toyota may be a RAV5 that she takes to work every day that may be 4 years old. They're coming in, and she's already been exposed to the Toyota brand through her parents. Now she drives off the lot with a brand new Toyota Corolla. Now could she have purchased a used Corolla for less money? Yeah, she could have, but she saw that new one and I'm a brand new Toyota owner. I'm new my own personal experience with this product is now my own. I was exposed to it through my parents, but now this is my own. So now if she has a good experience with that brand new Toyota Corolla 4, 5, 6 years down the line, after she's graduated, after she's got that good job, she's going to go back to that Toyota dealership and she's going to say, oh man, you know, that Corolla was so awesome. Ooh, is that a Supra? They've got her.
Okay.
They've got that. And that's what remasters are. They are for the new people.
Okay.
They're for the new people.
Okay.
You know, I think about it after you guys were talking about it, but I kind of equate it to like maybe DVDs and Blu-rays. You know, you're seeing like 10 million releases of the same movie, director's cut, and it being released again with like director's comments, that kind of thing. So it's something similar to that, I guess.
Cool. No, I just thought it was very interesting because I'm always interested in seeing like how other industries kind of can relate to video games.
Yeah.
So because they all proliferate off each other. So.
And I do have one last remaster to talk about. We'll end
Sure.
this segment of the show here. Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition is now coming out for PS5 and Xbox Series X. So
really?
Came out of the blue. Yeah. So the game's going to feature 4K visuals, ray tracing, enhanced lighting and shadows, improved loading times, and haptic feedback on PlayStation 5. On there, it's going to be out on October 15th. On here, it's going to be priced at $30. So you figure Darksiders 2's been out for how long? Then they're going to want $30. But if you pre-order the game right now on PS5, you'll get a 50% discount, and people who already own the title for PS4 will receive a free upgrade to the current gen edition. So
$10 less than Concord.
So, and they made a point, THQ Nordic made a point to say that the teaser for Darksiders during their summer showcase is not this game. They are working on a new Darksiders game. So maybe they're just trying to keep it in the eyes of gamers while they work on the next Darksiders if need be. But I'll probably be checking this out because I already have a physical copy of Darksiders 2 for PS4. So
I think I have the digital.
If you have the digital,
yeah, I have it on Steam, and it was one of the games that refuses to work.
Oh,
yeah.
There's someone that's saying in the comments on this article saying that the PC version is also going to get a refresh too, as far as the remaster is concerned. So who knows? But that is the Jabroni Gaming news for this episode.
All right. So thank you so much for delivering those goods to us, Jabroni. Game night. Although for me, I've been working overtime, so I apologize to folks for our lackadaisical attendance to game nights. And I'm just going to probably game night this coming Wednesday is probably going to be a no-go because I'm typically working overtime. But 2 weeks from now, within 2 weeks, we'll say that within 2 weeks, we should be manageable. But our game nights take place every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. That is the day and the time that we set aside to play games with our growing Discord community. So if you have a game that you would like to play with us, please post it in our Discord server and let us know what game that is. If we don't have it, we can get it, and we will be more than happy to play games with you. Now, you might be asking, how do you join our Discord? Well, that's easy. You head on over to the app formerly known as Twitter, currently known as X. Head over to @GamingVessels, GamingVessels. Click that link in our bio, and you are in. So we don't have any merch to sell to you. We don't have a Patreon tier list that you must pay for. We just ask that you be a good person, likes talking about video games, playing video games, and I think you will find a nice home aboard the good ship gaming vessel. So we definitely want to say big thank yous to John BT and Goonie for participating in our Vessel Line question of the week. When our listeners interact with our questions, it just makes our shows a little bit more interactive, a little bit more fun. So big ups to you two for participating in this episode's Vessel Line. So, folks, so that is going to bring episode 259 to a close. We want to thank you for hanging out, cooling out, chilling out without a doubt with us this episode. So for Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res Hater,
That's me.
a.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. that Gamer Stepdaddy, and for Trader Joe, a.k.a. Jabroni Chief.
Yeah, konnichiwa. Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Mags of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. I'm Shonuff71, a.k.a. Digadulamite.
Papa Bling Bling, y'all.
And we'll be back, I guess we'll be back 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
2 weeks from now, episode 260 for your ears. Peace.